Okay, y'all. So this is gonna be another art-related video, and I know I've been kind of talking about a lot of art shit on my video lately. So it hasn't purely just been anti-natalist stuff. And the next video that I really wanted to upload was gonna be kind of just specifically more anti-natalist related, and I had started recording it in the house, but then my fucking folks came up in, from the store or from wherever they went out to eat, and I have to stop the fucking camera, which is kind of annoying, to be honest. Like, I just don't have that fucking privacy to just be able to vent and go off how I want without having to try to go somewhere and hide, or just try so no one else interrupt me or try to fucking ask me, oh, why are you talking about this kind of shit, this and that. It fucking pisses me off. And that's something I'm gonna get into, like in my next video, after I fucking, I'm saying fuck a lot, but after I edit it, but for this video, it's gonna be another art video, and it's gonna, again, like my other videos, it's gonna kind of tie into things that have to do with this world, but it's more geared towards the creative side. So we're gonna talk about this mangaka who I have recently found out about, and his name is Inio Asano. And Inio Asano is probably the best mangaka slash artist who is good at illustrating and telling stories about the human condition, or just about our life in general, or how it is. Like, he is really able to portray what actual life actually is in his stories. And I know a lot of people like to say Hayao Miyazaki is good at doing that, like, oh, his characters are very realistic, this and that. Man, Hayao Miyazaki don't have a shit on Inio Asano. I'm gonna say that right now, because I watched quite a bit of Hayao Miyazaki's films, and in my opinion, his characters are still pretty fucking idealized. When you look at his Hayao Miyazaki's characters and just the way they act, or like the problems they have, it's idealized to a specific extent. The majority of the characters, they look appealing, or even if they're fucking old, it's still kind of this radiant vibrance to even the old people that he draws. It doesn't depict the reality of exactly what you go through when you're fucking old, like having health problems or all of that shit. Or the fact that even when you watch films like Princess Mononoke or Howl's Moving Castle, where it's more of a political, more of a political conflict to it, it's still kind of resolved in this idealistic way that's not true to reality. And I talked about Hayao Miyazaki before, and really, I think I've only seen a lot of his mainstream films, like, again, Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, Kiki's Delivery Service, and all of that shit. I do kind of want to watch, or I guess rather rewatch, I forgot the name of it, but it is one film of his that I want to rewatch, because even though I may not agree with a lot of the critiques or the praise that he gets, I mean, I will say that his stuff still has some artistic quality. But now it has nothing. If we're talking about just actual realism of how people are and the conflicts that they deal with, Inio Asano is where it's at for me. And just to name a few of the mangas that Inio Asano has kind of illustrated, Good Night Pon Pon is one. Girl in the Shore, which that one is really graphic. I mean, not because it's a lot of like blood or guts, but just the themes that it deals with when we're talking about coming of age story. Like it's very rated R, is to put it nice. And then I think Solana or Solana, I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's another one. That's one I also want to read, and just a lot of his stories, they're really slice of life and really rooted in reality. Again, I mean, I think maybe there is one of them or some of them that has a few supernatural elements, but it's not the main focus of the story, for the most part. And it's like the whole narrative is just more focused on how the characters interact with each other, or how they may deal with specific problems or cope or things like that. Now, there is something that I really noticed about a lot of Inio Asano's character designs, and it's also one of the reasons why he's kind of becoming another favorite of artist of mine, is that his character designs, they are very appealing. Like when you look at his characters, they look, a lot of the times they may look innocent or have this very again, easy on the eyes, appealing characteristic to them that makes them seem kind of safe or approachable or inviting. But let me tell y'all, if you've read any of his stories, the things in which these characters do and how they act it can get so fucking appalling. Just, he does not shy away from just showing humanity at its absolute worst. And now it ain't all bad. It isn't like Berserk, where it's just everything kind of seemed to just be turned up to max on just the horror scale. But it's like, I'm talking about the way characters interact with each other, maybe socially, or just how they abuse one another, or maybe take advantage of another person, or he's really raw with it. He does not idealize the human state in the slightest. And of course, since these stories are more rooted in mundane slice of life, that means that, there isn't much of any, again, idealized aspect to them. So there isn't a big goal like what you would probably see in a lot of other mainstream animes or mangas. They're not like Naruto or fucking Ichigo Kurosaki, or maybe any other shonen protagonist that you can probably think of. They're not badass. They don't have this oh, I want to achieve my ultimate dream goal, or oh, I can overcome this through the power of friendship, or whatever the fuck. Like, there is nobody, when they are going through a problem, first off, the problems they have, it's everything you would expect from this reality. And then on top of that, there is no high-end optimism. Like, you know, there isn't anyone coming to save them. Like, if they're, let's say, going through depression or having a hard time with something, there is no one who's coming to save them. Like, there is no overarching plot device where, oh, they're gonna discover this thing or meet this person and somehow their lives is just gonna magically get better. There is none of that. Like, these characters, outside of their designs, it's everything that they go through and how they act and just the ways they think. It is grimy, it's dirty, it's very raw. I mean, and he tends to show just the more undesirable aspects of what it means to be a human existing in this world, you know. And, like, you know, so he shows all the shit that a lot of other mangas or animes won't show of their characters. He shows his characters, for instance, like on the fucking toilet, or just going to, you know, having a moment of having to go to the bathroom. Like, he gets that raw with it. Or just explicit scenes where the characters are like engaged in just really, you know, really base animalistic acts. I'm just gonna put it that way just because fucking YouTube, you know, censorship too, you know. But he shows stuff like that. He shows just how nasty it can be to really be a human. And again, like, that also goes for just socially and just how these characters may treat one another as opposed to another character, a person out there talking to. And so that's what I really like about Inio Asano. And it's not just about the fact that, oh, he's just super duper realistic or unfiltered with what he presents to the audience, but it's also the fact that he shows some of the better qualities, however small that is, that humanity has the potential to, you know, aspire to. Like, you know, he shows it isn't all just doom and gloom, but again, it's not really idealized like a lot of the animes or mangas that you see in today's market. And so, yeah, that's what I really like about Inio Asano. And some of the I've only read 3 of his mangas, which is, again, like Good Night Pun Puntin'. And that one I know is really, that one has a meme of being the most depressing manga. But honestly, I mean, they're not wrong, but I think that honors goes to Tokapi's Original Sin, me personally. But yeah, Good Night Pun Pun, it is pretty, you know, it does get pretty rough, you know. But that's actually a manga I wanted to talk about on my channel, but just I just hadn't been really feeling like it, or I just need to make time or whatnot. But another one I've been reading is this other one called Dead Demons Destruction. And I know the name sounds stupid, But that one, in my opinion, is a particularly good one. You know, that just delves into so much things that happens in our reality that a lot of people just maybe don't think about or just may shrug off, like how the government may tends to use all of these political stunts and distractions to try to, you know, gaslight people from the real issue at hand, and just how a lot of the citizens may be complacent with the problems that's going on, or they just maybe don't want to do anything or say anything about it, or just pretend it doesn't exist. Like, this story gets into all of that, and it doesn't hold your hand. Like, you really have to fucking analyze everything that's going on and pay attention to what you're reading and seeing to get the most out of it. So, yeah. I think Inio Asano, like, he just kicks, like knocks it out the park when it comes to portraying realistic characters and just realistic stories centered around the human psyche and just the human existence in general. But y'all can tell me what y'all think if y'all have heard of this artist or maybe read some of his works, and what y'all think about it. And I'll get back to y'all with another one real soon.